Hello, hello. Is this thing on?
Uh, Here we are. It's me, Aaron. Ooh,
Wow.
I'm a ghost now.
Ooh, you are a ghost. And I am
Yeah.
Andre. I am not a ghost. And we are Neo Geo Go.
We are.
This is a new show we're going to be doing. I'm excited.
I am excited, man. We've been trying to hammer out what to do for this whole trailer, so we're winging it. We're just gonna wing it.
We're kind of winging it. I wrote some stuff down that I will probably now paraphrase and read. So, Neo Geo Go is going to be a show where every episode we review a Neo Geo game, one singular one, every episode, and we're going to do it quickly. That's the point of the show. 20 minutes or less. We're actually imposing a hard limit on ourselves. 20 minutes or less, usually going to be, in our estimation, probably much shorter than that. An episode could be 8 or 10 minutes. It could be closer to the 20 minutes. You never know. That's what we're going to do. We're going to review every Neo Geo game chronologically and fast.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going to release on Saturday mornings, too. So as soon as you get up in the morning, get your PJs on, get your cereal ready, and then turn on, like, I don't know, Pocket Casts or whatever you use. And you'll see us right there, our smiling faces. You'll see new Neo Geo Go. And then, bam, 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, boom, done.
Yep. Done. Better than any of those cartoons.
By the time you finish your cereal, you'll still have like 10, well, not 10 minutes, like a few minutes of the show left.
What was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon of all time?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh, yeah, you're a Yu-Gi-Oh guy.
Or Shaolin Showdown. Sorry, go ahead.
The Shaolin Showdown was, I remember that. In the early 90s, there was a Conan the Barbarian cartoon. That was my shit, dude. That was my absolute favorite. I could not wait for that to come on. It would come on at like 8 or so, 8 a.m. And we'd have to go to bowling or whatever at 9:30. So like I'd barely get to see it, you know, like sometimes you have to cut off. Oh, we got to go to bowling. Bowling is relevant here because at the bowling alley arcade is where I often played Neo Geo. That's where they had one growing up, and they had it since the thing came out. I remember the first 4 games there, Magician Lord, Baseball Stars, whatever they were. I remember the very first game I ever played on Neo Geo was Magician Lord. Blew my mind, right? So, like, that's why I wanted to do this. Neo Geo has been something that I'm always been passionate about since I could remember, and throughout its whole life, just, man, Neo Geo's been there for me, Aaron. What can I say?
That's so sick.
Neo Geo had my back.
I wish I could say the same for Neo Geo, but I didn't really discover Neo Geo until probably until they started doing the arcade archives stuff on Switch. I think it was Waku Waku 7 was the first arcade archives game that I bought. Yeah, and I was
what
like,
a way to start.
Like, what the fuck is this? And then they started releasing all the Metal Slugs, and I was like, okay, maybe I need to look into more of these. And I started looking more and more into Neo Geo. And like one of the coolest things about them is just how versatile they are. Like they've dipped their toes into all sorts of different game genres, like shmups, puzzle games, platformers, shooters of all kinds. You know, you name it, they've done it, and they've added their own unique little twists to it. Like with Metal Slug, oh man, it's just so cartoony and like it's just so good to look at. Or like all of their games. Go ahead.
I think that's what people don't understand. I think people see Neo Geo and they just think, oh, it's a bunch of fighting games. And it is. Don't get me wrong. We're going to be talking about a lot of fighters during the course of the show. But, you know, there's other stuff too, like you just said, especially early on before it's going to be several dozens of episodes, I think, before we get to a Fatal Fury or Art of Fighting or anything like that, right? So it's going to be a while. But during those early years, man, I played a lot of Neo Geo, and it just blew my mind that you could have a cabinet with like 4 games on it, that you could just select the one that you wanted to play. You know, it's just, cool. It was a childhood favorite, and it is an adult favorite as well, still to this day. And I just wanted to share that passion with everybody. It's one of my favorite systems of all time. I'm glad. I don't know for my main show, Fine Time. 3, 4, or 5 months ago, we did a segment on our top 10 favorite consoles. Neo Geo was in there. I insisted. I'm
Yes.
Steve agreed with me. Kevin didn't really give me any pushback. I was like, yeah, Neo Geo's there because that's how I feel about this damn thing. We're planning on doing the arcade or NVS releases of these games. That's what we're going to focus on, not the home versions, aka AES, not the Neo Geo CD versions. It's not that we won't try out those versions, or especially Neo Geo CD, because the music, right? We want to
Oh
hear the
yeah.
differences, or there might be some differences. We will check out those differences sometimes if we have time, but really we're just focusing on MVS here to be, succinct.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's maybe a couple of CD exclusives that we're for sure going to cover, but that'll be part of the chronological, I guess, order of the games. Like, I think there's what, two, three Neo Geo CD exclusives.
There's more. There's like 7 or 8. However, a lot of
Mm.
them are just like not games. Some of them are just like, for instance, there's one called King of Fighters 96 Collection, where it's just like a collection of like, here are a bunch of sound clips and like
Oh, it's
other
stupid.
material. Like, it's like, because it was the 90s. We're doing multimedia discs and stuff, right?
Yes,
There's stuff.
yeah.
So there's stuff like that on Neo Geo CD. But yeah, I think there is definitely at least 2 real deal games that we want to cover on Neo Geo CD.
Hell yeah. I will say though, Windjammers on Neo Geo CD, that soundtrack is fucking bopping.
Dude, I loved when Dot Emo ported that in 2017 or 18 or whatever to like actual platforms. They later patched in where you can choose the Neo Geo CD soundtrack. It wasn't there when the
Holy
game came out,
shit.
but then eventually they patched it in where you can choose the Neo Geo, and I left it on that ever since.
Oh, hell
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, hell
absolutely.
yes.
It's just good. We will probably be skipping games that we can't feasibly play. Like, there are several games that are not in English that don't really have an English release. That's a good thing about Neo Geo, Aaron, is that like almost all the games have a English equivalent,
Yeah.
but some do not, and a lot of the ones that do not are like mahjong games, of which I do not know how to play mahjong. So I'm not
Hmm.
going to ask you how to learn how to play mahjong and then bore our audience with something that we don't know about. So we're probably going to be skipping games that we cannot read. We'll probably be skipping stuff that we probably could play that is just not in English, like the Samurai Showdown RPG. Or, I mean, like, yes, there is a fan translation, but we're looking at officially released games for this show.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. It just wouldn't feel right reviewing a fan translation. I mean, yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I don't. If it, God, I wish it could like get some sort of release on digital storefronts where we could just finally play that game. If they ever do, then during the course of the show, then definitely we'll cover it.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about every Neo Geo game in chronological order as much as we can, quickly.
Yeah.
20 minutes or less, and typically, it's going to be less than that.
Yeah. And once we do get to the end of the whole MVS and everything, and we'll eventually move on to the Neo Geo Pocket, which I'm also excited for because it just like with their arcade happenings, they they tried a lot of different cool shit and it was awesome. So yeah, look forward to that, listeners.
Yeah, definitely look forward to that. We don't know exactly when this trailer is going to release in this feed, but just know that if you're hearing this right when it releases, it's going to be a while before we get any episodes out, because we're going to try to stockpile them, because I have my main show Fine Time, Aaron has his main show Super Ghost. We don't want to take away from our main squeezes, right? This is just a
Oh yeah.
side little fling we're doing with each other. A little we're each other's side bitches right now. So like that's also part of the reason why we're keeping the episode short. So it's
Yeah.
like not only necessity, but also a fun little challenge, I think, Aaron, to try to, let's do it fast.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be too hard to do for some games. Like we're not going to try to eat up as much time as possible talking about like a horse racing game and the intricacies of horse racing, philosophical comparisons between horse racing and like my brain, I don't know. Yeah.
I am going to have a lot of fun talking about Stakes Winner and Stakes Winner 2, though. That is for sure. The horse racing is here on Neo Geo because it is the 90s and Japan. So, yeah, can't wait to get to those.
I'm gonna go so fucking insane when we get to Magical Drop and like Zupapa. Holy fucking lord!
Oh, you like that Zupapa, huh?
Zupapa's good shit.
We're gonna have to wait for Zupapa. Zupapa came out in 2001, so we're gonna have to wait a long time before we get there. Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. If you're listening to this right now, thank you for joining us, even though we don't really have anything to join yet. But thank you for listening. Thank you for your interest. We really appreciate it, and we can't wait to get these episodes out as soon as we can.